We talk a lot about Bukayo Saka's talent. We talk a lot about his personality. We talk about his intelligence. But do we talk enough about how tough he is? I don't think so. And that's going to be the subject of today's video. Hello guys, hope you're really well. Today we're going to be talking about Bukayo Saka, one of my favourite topics, and something I've been thinking about, well, since the Bournemouth game, but really for a few months now, about quite how tough this young man is. Thank you for watching. For more videos, do hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button if you want them delivered straight to you. Your viewership, your loyalty is very, very much appreciated. It'd be pointless me doing these videos to no one, so I'm glad you're watching. Let's talk about Saka then. I think because he's young, I think because he's an academy player, I think because he's our star boy, maybe sometimes we infantilise is the wrong word, but maybe we are a little overprotective of him. And maybe there's a bit of anxiety around him because he is on the receiving end of so many challenges because of his style of play, because of the position he plays. I think sometimes that protectiveness, that anxiety, means that we worry about him picking up an injury, when maybe we should also, on the other side of that, commend him, salute him, applaud him for the toughness that he has shown in his time as a Premier League player. I think I'm right in saying it's 87 consecutive Premier League starts at this point in time. Remarkable. And he went off in the Bournemouth game looking a bit sore, having taken a few kicks. Well, this morning, he's back training with the first team on the pitch at London Colney. And that is kind of Saka's story. You don't get to 90-odd consecutive Premier League games without being incredibly resilient. Let's think for a minute about what that takes. You know, every Premier League player throughout a season carries niggles, carries knocks, carries bumps and bruises. Few carry more than Saka because he invites challenges, because he rides challenges, because he's a dribbler. And yet week after week, he keeps coming back. You know, I heard a story recently about him going up to his box after the games to visit his family. His family attend every game. He has his parents, his grandparents who come. And quite often after these games, he's really visibly sore. You know, he is carrying cuts and bruises from challenges, you know, nicks on the shins. And he's sore. He half limps into those boxes at the end of the games to see his family. And yet, when the players are called back for training, a day or 2 days after, he's there. He's there. He is incredibly resilient and has demonstrated already at 22 a mental and physical capacity to withstand those challenges. Now, where does that come from? Obviously, it comes from him, but I think we should give his manager some credit as well. I think the manager has helped shape that mindset. You know, we all remember Arteta speaking about how many games the top players play. The likes of Messi, Ronaldo, Salah, the players that Saka wants to emulate. They play week in, week out. And they receive special treatment from defenders during games, and yet they're still there. Because you can't show weakness, because then it becomes a vulnerability, then it becomes something opposition look to exploit. You can't stop Saka, because every week he comes back. And I remember Arteta spoke about this. It was a game against Aston Villa where Saka showed a bit of fight. And Arteta spoke about it there. He said there's many ways to protect yourself on a football pitch within the rules. He needs to learn, improve that. He can help to have more focus, more determination, more belief for the next action. It's something he needs to do. He needs to learn when to take certain balls, what to do with that ball, how to use his body, when to jump. So I think the coaching staff have worked on this with Saka from a technical perspective, how he can withstand those challenges, how he can ride those challenges. But I think Arteta's also done a lot of work with him mentally, psychologically. You know, he's not created excuses for the player. He's told him this is the standard, this is the level, this is what's expected. And Saka has risen to it. I think he's also lucky in that he's got teammates who he can turn to. I mean, look at Gabriel Jesus, right? Who's a more senior player, one of the more senior players in the Arsenal group. What a mentor he is for a young man who's on the receiving end of a lot of challenges. Gabriel Jesus is someone who didn't spend his early years like Saka in an academy. He was a street footballer. I think he came into club football age 14, age 15. And he's tough. He's tough. And his style of play, he goes into a lot of body contact, takes a lot of tackles on. And he gets up every time, dusts himself down. And I think for Bukayo Saka to look at Gabriel Jesus, the treatment he receives, the way in which he's able to respond to it, I think he's a great mentor for someone like Saka. So I think he's fortunate in that respect as well. And then I think we have to give some credit to the medical staff. You know, we all have our anxieties. We're all worried about when Saka's going to pick up an injury. And we'll come on to that. But we've got to put some trust in the medical staff as well. Tom Allen, who leads the kind of physical team at Arsenal, who took over from Shad Forsyth, they look at Saka, they look at his data, they do the body scans, they see, you know, where the areas of inflammation are, and they trust that he's able to keep getting back out there. As I say, physically resilient, mentally resilient. I think he's quite blessed. Some may say I'm tempting fate here. It's inevitable that players will pick up injuries at some stage, but he does seem to be someone who can withstand that buffeting. Withstand, I should say. And I think, you know, we've given credit to his manager, we've given credit to his teammates, we've given credit to the medical staff. At the end of the day, we have to give just huge credit to Bukayo Saka and say it's a testament to his character and his athleticism that he is able to do this. And the great players have always had to do it. Just look at Thierry Henry, the way challenges used to go in on him. There was only one way of stopping him, and it was to go through him, and that's what a lot of defenders used to do. Dennis Bergkamp the same. But what did Henry and Bergkamp share? That ability to give a bit back, that ability to stand up for themselves. Huge upper body strength, which Saka has. And yeah, just a determination to not be kicked out of games, to keep coming back. I think maybe we don't reference that enough, and so I just wanted to do a quick video really praising him for that and saying, you know, this is a special guy we've got who we know about his talent, but let's talk about the mental side. The physical gifts he's got are obvious, but he combines that with a real solidness, a sturdiness up here, and I think that's what separates him from a lot of other great prospects who didn't go all the way. There you go. That's all I have to say on it, really. I think we've got we're very lucky, as we know, to watch Saka, but we're even luckier that we get to watch him week in, week out, because he keeps showing up and he keeps delivering. And even when his form is maybe not the best, the numbers are still very, very good. His talent is obvious, but look beyond that, and we can see a young man who it really is capable of standing up for himself, and who has tremendous drive and tremendous desire, and shows that by turning up for training 2 days after being kicked out of a game, and by being in the starting 11 every single Premier League game that comes around. Long may it continue. That run has to end eventually. And let's hope when it does end, it's because he's being rested or rotated. I do think, you know, we could have taken him off earlier against Bournemouth. Absolutely. And I think we should do that. But I also think some of our anxieties are misplaced, because in Bukayo Saka, Arsenal have one of the toughest players in the Premier League. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. As I say, do subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.